I saw Vladimir Putin's control tactics of Donald Trump, which was to show nudes of Melania on Russian TV. And you can see how strong men know how to manipulate Donald Trump. So I was watching what Elon Musk has been doing over the last 48 hours, and I noticed some similarities there. And the first time he posted it, I was like, huh. Then he did it again. And I said, this seems to be part of a concerted effort, a message that Musk may be sending to Donald Trump. Here's what Musk posted. Breaking, Senator Dick Durbin, a Democrat, by the way, calls for the release of the Epstein files to the public. Now, Elon Musk is using his social media platform to amplify that. And Elon Musk says, cool. It's notable because Donald Trump's going to be all over those Epstein files. Trump is all over the call logs for Epstein. He's all over the flight logs for Epstein. Trump and Epstein were very close friends in Palm Beach. Epstein would find the girls to traffic, at least some of them at Mar-a-Lago, like Virginia Giuffre, who Ghislaine Maxwell, who trafficked for Epstein, would go to Mar-a-Lago, find the girl, bring her to Epstein, and then Epstein would then start the trafficking operation. And Virginia Giuffre worked in Mar-a-Lago as like a server there. And so I'm just thinking all of these connections as well, depositions, transcripts from some of the Epstein cases that mentioned Donald Trump, and the Ghislaine Maxwell trafficking case, 14-year-old girl, talk about how Epstein brought her to Donald Trump or introduced her to Trump. I'm thinking to myself, why is Musk posting this? Then Musk seems to be making some other posts, seemingly taunting Donald Trump, him in front of the Doge logo, something that says, and when you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. And then he posted this as well. And this is Pam Bondi, who Donald Trump picked to be his attorney general. She's currently the attorney general of the United States. And it's just so interesting. Of all of the Pam Bondi clips, Elon Musk chose this one, which talked about Epstein's connection to Bill Clinton. And Bondi was like, well, Trump is different. Trump is somehow different than Clinton. But watch this. And it's just, again, interesting that this is what Elon Musk is posting now. Coincidence? You tell me. Here, play this clip.
Well, we know he was on the plane, not only on the plane a couple times, multiple times. He traveled internationally with Jeffrey Epstein. And he was on the plane called the Lolita Express because it supposedly had a bed in there where Jeffrey Epstein had young girls. He has been a friend of his, a continuing friend of his for years and years. Contrast that with Donald Trump, who hasn't spoken to him in many years, over a decade, after he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago for bad behavior. So that's the difference there. And I think Americans see the two-tier justice system. But, you know, we don't know. They're saying Clinton has not been to his private island, but he has traveled all over the world with Jeffrey Epstein.
Now, we know leading up to the election, there were some major bombshells that none of the corporate media covered, but we covered here. Daily Beast covered it as well. Here are some of the major bombshells of audio that featured Jeffrey Epstein speaking about Donald Trump. Epstein described himself as Donald Trump's closest friend for about a decade. Epstein claimed that Trump liked to F the wives of his best friends. Epstein alleged that Trump and Melania first slept together on Epstein's private jet, the Lolita Express. Epstein suggested Trump was a serial cheat and loved using his power to pursue women. Trump reportedly had scalp reduction surgery and referred to himself as the Trumpster. Remember this moment here as well on Fox leading up to the election? Listen to the absolute fear and panic that Donald Trump has when he's asked if he will declassify the Epstein files. Play this clip.
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah. I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
Yes, I would. I think that less so because, you know, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would.
We took note of it then when Donald Trump said that. And it was also notable that while Donald Trump said he was declassifying the JFK files, RFK files, and MLK files, in the case of the MLK, and without the consent of, I think, the family either, he didn't release the Epstein files, which he could have released publicly. Release the files, Donald. The world wants to see if your name is in those files over and over again. But you heard there on Fox, Donald Trump saying that, I don't know. I'm not sure how, if those accusations are true or not about the people. Just think about the types of things that he's saying. By the way, here's a quote from 2002 where Donald Trump told New York Magazine that he thought Epstein was a terrific guy. Quote, "I've known Jeffrey Epstein for 15 years, Donald Trump says. Terrific guy. He's a lot of fun to be with. It's even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them on the younger side." It's from 2002. Also remembering the time Jeffrey Epstein rode on Donald Trump's plane, they boarded with a young woman of indeterminate age. I wouldn't be able to tell if she was 15 or 20. She was quite dressed up and quite made up, so it was hard to tell if she was 15 years old, 20 years old, 13 years old, however old she was. Unclear, but Epstein would bring girls like that onto Donald Trump's plane. Also, we have the Epstein deposition transcripts from some of the cases where one of the women who Epstein trafficked said that while they were in the airplane together, Jeffrey said, "Great, we'll call up Trump and we'll go to," I don't recall the name of the casino, but we'll go to one of Donald Trump's casinos. It should be noted that the plane that Donald Trump was flying around during the 2024 campaign was actually Epstein's jet. It was one of Epstein's private planes where Epstein sex trafficked women in the jet. You can see the plane right here when Epstein died under circumstances. And the jet was acquired by somebody else who then lent that plane to Donald Trump during the election. You see here Donald Trump's name appears over and over again in the Epstein flight log when Epstein was alive, because Trump would go on that plane quite frequently as well. And remember when Donald Trump during the first administration was asked about Ghislaine Maxwell's sex trafficking trial? And he goes, "I wish her well," when asked, "What message do you want to send her?" Here, play this clip.
Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison, and a lot of people want to know if she's going to turn in powerful people. And I know you've talked in the past about Prince Andrew, and you've criticized Bill Clinton's behavior. I'm wondering, do you feel that she's going to turn in powerful men? How do you see that working out?
I don't know. I haven't really been following it too much. I just wish her well, frankly. I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, and I guess they lived in Palm Beach. But I wish her well, whatever it is. I don't know the situation with Prince Andrew. Just don't know. Not aware of it.
Mr. President.
Now, from that trial, the Ghislaine Maxwell trial, we learned that Jeffrey Epstein introduced a 14-year-old girl to Donald Trump. One of the witnesses testified there who went by Jane Doe. We know that Steve Bannon contacted Jeffrey Epstein over worries he would flip on Donald Trump, according to a book at that time. And just so you can hear it for yourself, this is Michael Wolff dropped this audio of Jeffrey Epstein spilling insider details about Trump's White House when Epstein clearly was in the know of what was happening in the White House back then. Here, play this clip.
I think we have a snippet from one of the conversations that I recorded with Epstein, and I think this was in a restaurant in 2017.
His people fight each other.
Right.
And then have outsiders. He sort of poisons the well outside. He will tell 10 people Bannon's a scumbag and Priest is not doing a good job and Kelly has a big mouth. And what do you think? Jamie Dimon says that you're a problem and I shouldn't keep you. And I spoke to Carl Icahn, and Carl thinks I need a new spokesperson. So Kelly, even though I hired Kellyanne's husband, Kellyanne's just too much of a wild card. And then he tells Bannon, I really want to keep you, but Kellyanne hates you.
I have more than dozens. I probably have 100 hours of Epstein talking about the inner workings of the Trump White House and about his long-standing, deep relationship with Donald Trump.
Now, it should also be noted as well that leading up to the election, another woman came forward. Donald Trump groped me in what felt like a twisted game with Jeffrey Epstein, former model alleges. Stacey Williams says the ex-president, whose spokesperson denied the allegations, touched her in an unwanted sexual way in 1993. after Epstein introduced them. There was another instance where a Sports Illustrated swimsuit model talked about being introduced with Epstein and Trump wanted her to party with him and Epstein. You know, really disgusting stuff right there as well. And then there was this story from The Guardian back from 2020 about how Donald Trump would hold these yacht events like this one in September 1991 when he was hosting something called the Look of the Year. It's like a teen or preteen beauty pageant was one of the things. Like that was what Donald Trump would do. He would hold like swimsuit pageants. So here's a photo of the girls so you can just see how young these girls were. They were girls. They're children. And then these girls would party on the boats. And this was like a boat that Trump was on with all of these men who were old enough to be the girls, the little girls' grandparents. And they would talk about how one balding man in a swimsuit wrapped his arm around the little girls, said, can you get some of these girls around me? They said, can you get some beautiful women around me? I mean, little girls, at the time. And that was part of this yacht trip in connection with the elite Look of the Year competition at Trump Plaza. So I just think it's interesting that you have, as Epstein, as Elon is doing all of these things, you know, taking control, the tactics right here of mentioning Epstein over and over again, I think is a control mechanism as it relates to Donald Trump to basically say, okay, now that I have access to the government files, you're going to need me. So don't think I'm like the other people in your world who you can dispose of. I've put my teams in the various agencies. We've got classified information now. We've got all this stuff. I don't think it has to, again, this is just my opinion. All this is my opinion, but I don't think it has to be said like overtly, but in my opinion, it does send that message, whether that's what's intended or not, you could decide. But my opinion is, I think that it sends a strong message of, I know, or I've got information, or my people have access to things now. And, it should be reflective of the knowledge that's out there. You tell me, you could disagree. Again, these are opinions. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 4 million subscribers. Thanks for watching.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.